Kevin's had some pretty iconic hair moments.
Flat iron hair to the mutton chops. I've done it all.
The mutton chops were my favorite.
I really pushed the boundaries on what was socially acceptable with my hair. I don't know why I decided
Well,
that.
you know exactly why it was awesome.
No, thank you. Thanks, Joe.
Yes.
Come on.
Everybody, it's us, the Jonas Brothers, and this is our Life in Albums. Here we got It's About Time from the Jonas Brothers. This is our first album. This was released in 2006.
Columbia Records.
And we had songs on there like Year 3000, and also What I Go to School For, which was, that's the first song of the album. Please Be Mine is the finishing track.
It's a very bold way to start the album.
There's some bangers on this, and we shot this in Coney Island. We went all the way to Coney Island to only use a garage. So we spent a lot of money on the travel. But honestly, really familiar memories. What does your belt say? SCD.
Oh, SGD. It's my name is Paul Kevin Jonas means small gentle dove.
Oh, that's right. Small gentle dove. I love that. And then we got
The poster inside is killer.
how's the Ed Hardy poster? We got a lot of free clothes back in the day.
I loved that jacket so much.
To be able to have a big portion of this first album that people got to experience, speak to a lot of what we were doing in our small little living room is a big deal for us.
Yeah.
What are you reading?
I'm just reading who we collaborated with on all these. Like, you just don't know it is just the three of us listed as songwriters and Desmond Child. That's pretty cool. It's a lot of agency to give teenagers, but I'm grateful to those that believed in us. We were, still developing musically, I'd say, and it is the job and opportunity of the producers of the album to create a sound, to make it make sense musically. I think it was pushed too far in the pop-punk direction, but right after this, we started to find our own influences, Switchfoot being one, Dashboard Confessional, something corporate. That became more of that sort of emo pop sound that we came to love, and then this was slightly tipped 1 degree in the too different than perhaps what we wanted to do.
Mandy, where is she? When's the last time you talked to her, bro?
I don't know. I think she's in New Jersey. But
Yeah,
our families are still close. Our parents are still close with her parents. She seems to be doing very well. We're happy for Mandy.
Jonas Brothers self-titled album.
Is that the CDVU Plus?
CDVU Plus?
Basically,
Yes.
we signed with Hollywood Records, and they had this new technology where you insert the CD.
Put this CD in your computer and visit jonasbrothersuk.com to access free downloads.
Yeah.
It's the UK album.
This is the UK.
But anyway, it would pull up all this other cool stuff, which now, obviously, it's come a long way, but it was very exciting back then.
It was very, very big.
Our idea was that we never went to prom, so we thought, why don't we throw ourselves a prom? We literally had a prom. It was really quite fun. And our first, proper LA photo shoot from Coney Island to LA. Look at us.
Very telling. The song
This
Hollywood.
album, this album is really special to us, as we get to work with John Fields on this record. I think our fans, the OG fans, love this album.
And I think it really was, we had our first big taste of, I won't call it failure, but dropped by our label and, didn't know our destination, where we were going to go as a band, whether it was going to be a band, continue. So the fact that these songs were written in those desperate moments and then we kind of found our voice, I think was really special.
When you look me in the eyes and tell me that you love me.
I was angsty, I didn't know what the future held. I just knew we were still going to make music. So it was kind of blind, hope, I guess.
I definitely felt a lot of pressure. Our lives had changed so much. Our father also lost his job, effectively because we weren't making solely Christian music, and he was a pastor. And so, our shift to singing about love and romance and heartbreak caused that to happen. So financially, we were in a really vulnerable position, and we'd spent all this money that we kind of didn't have. Credit card bills were, it was bad. And so we either had to succeed or we had to shift and figure our stuff out. But thankfully, the stars aligned and that moved to California and finding a new label. And I really feel like there is a sense of perseverance in the lyrics of this album.
This isn't SOS, don't wanna second guess. This is the bottom line, it's true.
I think a lot of people at this time, because it was such a teen pop phenomenon, sort of wrote it off. And now that people have discovered some of the music, later on, there's some really big themes in here about tough times and even just a sense, an urgency in the lyrics and in the music that I'm really proud of. The camp rock soundtrack. This is like, I've always said, it's like we're the ghosts of Christmas past.
Yeah, there's ones that are like, we're more faded though.
Yeah.
I was looking for that. Like, we definitely look like the ghosts of rock.
They had predetermined in a rendering, our lovely Disney team, that Kevin and I would need to be jumping, but it's hard to make a good facial expression when you're jumping. Try it. And so I'm like really kind of like frozen and quite tense in that.
Kevin looks comfortable.
Kevin looks very comfortable. He's rocking out.
Pants are flexible for that.
They actually had some give to them, which was great.
Oh, cool. You can get songs sent to you?
Oh my gosh.
Ringtones, maybe?
Ringtones? Yes, text tones. I will say that the actual CD was a little above, like ahead of its time. Like, this looks really great. Like, that's the entire movie summed up as, visuals.
It was a really special experience for us, and obviously, like, became a big part of our career, so we're grateful.
We didn't know, and kind of still don't, if Connect 3 are brothers or not.
There's like reference maybe to it, but then there's not in the first
But
one.
it's also brilliant. I think it's hilarious, and
The lore is real.
the lore is great. It is a little confusing, but it's great. I'm really proud of this chapter of our life, and being able to be a part of a Disney franchise. To say those two words next to each other is like a dream for anybody that does what we do professionally, I think. And we're honored to get to pass the torch on to a whole new gang of campers. A little bit longer.
I'm the most proud of the visual of this album, and
I was gonna say the same thing.
yeah, like we were very bullish on what we wanted, and we were like, we want a fully CGI rendered album cover of New York City, Times Square, filled with things that were important to us.
Imagine how incredible this album cover is gonna look in the Sphere when we play there.
Yes.
One day.
When we make that thing come to life in the Sphere.
That wasn't like a big reveal. We don't have anything planned.
Or do we?
Yeah.
But
We'll let
you're
you
so
decide.
right. That is gonna be
Yeah.
like
That's
you're gonna be
it.
able to walk into Times Square and see it, and feel it all. Let's make
There's
that
actually
happen.
layers and layers of stuff in here to uncover.
It tells you who will win the Super Bowl in 2026.
Yep.
There's many presidential elections that we guessed
Predicted.
on and we predicted.
Simpsons have nothing on us.
I'm hot, you're cold. You go around like you know.
Very, very proud of this album, all the music on it. We wrote this while we were on tour, touring, the previous album, and made a lot of it on tour in
Band in
a
a
bus
bus.
that had a recording studio in it. And again, this is a testament to, I would say, both the visual and the music itself, to a bunch of adults trusting teenagers to make something. And I'm so grateful to the people at Hollywood and at John Fields, John Lind, our A&R, rest in peace, like really said, go ahead. And when we said we want to do this thing in Times Square, and they were like, yep, give us a week. And they came back to it with us with this, and we loved it.
We made something that we believed in, and I think that's what I would take away from this album. And like what gave us our Best New Artist nomination. So it's an important album.
Now I'm speechless, over the edge, I'm just breathless. I never thought that I'd catch this love bug again.
I think in our songwriting, we're very proud of the fact that we could kind of meet our fans and where they were at in their life as well. Now it's like a lot of our audience are our age, and they have kids of their own and families of their own, and they've gone through these journeys of experiencing love and love loss and heartbreak and first crushes to first relationships and to where they're now. And I think this is a good reflection of us kind of speaking to real life stuff, not shying away from it. Lines, Vines, and Trying Times. I think
Lines,
this is
Vines, and Trying Times.
arguably the fans' favorite album.
We went on a journey, I think, with this album. I think we were all
It's not for
turning
the
to
faint of
really.
ears.
I think that we all had hyper important influences that we were all trying to show through this album in 3 different ways.
This might be paranoid. I'm avoiding the lines 'cause they just might split.
No one knew that was a song about mental health and like being paranoid and to be this pop act and to have the sort of meteoric rise that we were riding at that time, but to then have songs that were about some of these themes, I think it really juxtaposed the usual sort of like way, a collection of producers or writers or whatever would write for a boy band or a pop band. And it's kind of awesome, like when you look back on it, because these songs, I think, we're all still very proud of them and playing them, 15, 16 years later.
You and me right now, that'd be alright. Be alright.
I think we've started to have a realization of, sometimes just a playful, fun thing, go in the studio and just throw something at a wall, see what lands, what sticks. Or even just sometimes it feels like it's just pen to paper, you have to go, oh, afterwards, we're like, we really got to think about what people are going to dissect from this album and who we may be speaking of or the stories that we're maybe kind of nodding to because it is so personal. And we're no longer these young guys that can kind of escape back to our small house in New Jersey. It was like, oh, this is like, we're dealing with some of the people kind of assuming, and so that was different.
Get a rep for breaking hearts. Now I'm done with superstars.
I will say there's a misstep or two, perhaps, on some of the themes on this album. I think what happened is that we were all really going through a big Johnny Cash phase. And I think the brilliance of Johnny Cash's songwriting is that he's a great storyteller. And sometimes these things didn't have to be inherently true to his real life experiences for them to be put into song and to be interesting and iconic. So we did that, we took a swing, and I would say it was a slight misstep. It just doesn't really fit the rest of it. But the fans obviously call it out all the time for us to play the song called Don't Charge Me for the Crime.
Don't charge me for the crime. Wrong place, wrong time.
It was definitely a closing of a chapter of saying, like, pump the brakes for a second. We might all have stuff that we need to go create because we're obviously like kind of pulling each other in different directions. This is Happiness Begins. And this is our, I guess technically, the return. I wouldn't say call it a comeback, but return of the brothers because we took a break for a minute there. And what better than just two booties by a pool in Palm Springs, 3, sorry. Well, two of us have booties.
Am I
Anyway,
missing?
Did I forget something?
But yeah, this was a really special album for us to be able to create and work on a lot of this stuff with Ryan Tedder. Wow, pretty crazy.
Not to get overly whatever about it, we wanted to have this feel really bright and hopeful. And for this to represent, I'm going to go there, this represent the journey that we've been on, the peaks and the valleys, and that we've made it to the other side, and we're just 3 kids sitting by the pool looking out. Like, that was the whole idea. It's pretty cheeky, like it's this, but, whatever, you gotta do it. I also remember this photo.
It's printed wrong.
If I'm not mistaken, this was like an actual candid moment of us looking at something, and we all looked at it, we're like, that's really...
No, we didn't. They wanted us to walk closer to the edge of the roof to take the photo. And look at Nick's face. He's looking at the edge going, I'm not so sure.
Good on that.
My favorite thing on this packaging is my daughters drew a section from the
so
album.
great.
I'm a sucker for you. Say the word and I'll go anywhere blindly.
I think that this really was a combination of my solo sound and Joe's D&C sound and the brilliance and magic of what happens when all 3 of us are together and when Kevin's a part of that equation. Just it becomes a Jonas Brothers sound. I'm really proud of this album, and it was necessary to make new music when we came back. I couldn't have been more grateful and proud to have worked with the people we worked with to make it happen.
And me getting introduced to all these people for the first time really was like, I was like kid in a candy store. I was like just blown away by the artistry of everyone that was involved.
The album. Yeah, this was fun. I mean, I just realized a lot of California landscapes for a New Jersey band. It's kind of funny.
Very true.
But I guess it kind of nods to us trying to make it out there. And this was an album that we got to work on with John Bellion very closely. One of my favorites. Such a fun project to create, and these songs kind of opened, I think, our door to a lot of new ears, and it was a blast. And now we play a good amount of these every night, which is pretty fun.
No, don't get stressed, it's gonna get figured out. Oh, deep conversation that no one else.
This cover was something that we kind of came up with to sort of say, like, our life is always kind of on display. This is a photo shoot, but then it's like sometimes you're missing the beauty around when you're just so locked into that kind of thing. The album covers become more important over time than you realize, and some of those like little things that you say in conversation with the creative team, I think we've at different points in this kind of look back said like we're blown away that people actually helped us, make this come to life. Mm-hmm. Just a point of view or perspective that they helped us create visually is cool.
Please just keep me
Little Bird was
Little Bird, man.
a big one for our kids. Play it every night. Now little ones are coming to our shows with their parents, and it's becoming kind of an anthem for little ones that are experiencing the Jonas Brothers concert for the first time. That's really special. I've learned so much about being a dad and for my little girls. There was somebody years ago that was telling me this reason behind why like little ones are like the best at training dogs, because they have no calendar, they have no schedule. They're not like, can you hurry up? Like, can you just go? And it's so true to think about like my little ones, like they have nowhere to be, or are not aware that they need to be somewhere next. And it's beautiful. So really just being present with them and being able to just act like phones and time doesn't exist, and that is most important.
I second that, the time, the presence, putting the phone down and being just in the moment with them. Girls are getting, older at this point, and middle school, and it's like new challenges and things I didn't expect. I think I've learned a lot about how math is now taught, and new math is not for the weak of heart. I've been spending a lot of time going through homework on FaceTime before the concerts, which is great.
I have learned a lot about princesses. I have learned so much from her. I think it's incredible when you get to the why phase of parenting, which we're kind of in now, where everything's why, and you have to actually look at things as an adult and go, yeah, why? Why is it like that? Why do we just sort of do it like this? Or why is this thing? Or you have to find a way to explain something. And it's really been a kind of fascinating thing to me, because there are questions I've had to answer that I'm like, I've put no thought into this beforehand, no time to prep, and this is going to shape the way in which she views the world or this thing, and it's an exhilarating opportunity, but as I'm sure every parent feels, a responsibility. This is Greetings from Your Hometown.
Our most recent album came out in August.
Shot at the Belmont Tavern. It's such a 90s-ly cool photo.
This album was interesting because it came together over many years. There were songs that were written, that made the album, that were written 7, 8 years ago. And I think it was like us picking up the pieces of life, and then saying this is the right time to put these all together. Yeah, it's insane. We got to collaborate with Switchfoot on this album. One of our biggest influences is a sort of full circle moment. I think the album photo shoot was meant to feel a little like we're walking back through our old hometown, which is literally what we did. Walking alongside the freeway in Jersey, right next to MetLife Stadium where we started the tour. It's cool.
What advice would these Jonas Brothers give to the 2006 ones that we saw on the first album?
Probably relax a little bit. Hey, you're still going to be doing this. And a good amount of time, so you're good. I mean, all these photos on the wall are familiar memories that probably we don't remember unless we look really closely and say, oh, wow. Like, just stop, slow down, and like enjoy it. It's going to it's going to last, so you can have fun tonight. When you're 18, you think you know everything, and then you're 36 and you still don't know everything. So you just kind of like have to go easy on yourself and know that like you might have figured out a few things or got better with certain things, but you're still growing as a person, and that's what it's about.